Right, we'll start with the mustard R30 94833 size 10 dry fly hook. So we'll just put some tying thread on there. We can start about there and just go back to about there. Let's just remove that. Now what we need is some moose body hair. Now when you're looking for the moose body hair, you want these nice straight hairs with super fine points like these. These are absolutely brilliant for tails. So we cut a little bunch, just a tiny bunch, about the size of a matchstick, and I'll show you how to clean these. Now while holding this, you just hold the points of the hair and you pull everything else out. That's surplus. And you're left with about 10 to 15 long hairs. There's a light one there. I don't want that because that'll put a light one in the tail. And another one there. Don't want that one either. So we just remove those and you've got all your long ones there. And we put them in a hair stacker. Then to remove them from the hair stacker, you don't remove the inner tube as you would normally. You just take hold of the tail feathers and you pull them out like that because you want them in this hand. There we go. Perfect. Now we measure how long we want the tail. And I want to start tying the tail in here. I'll show you why. So that's about the length of the tail I want. So we'll make just a couple of turns to hold it in position. I want everything on top of the hook shank here. So with every turn of tying thread now, so get that out of the way. What I want to do is I go around and I lift and pull over to the left with the tail and then over to the right. This will keep it on top of the hook shank. And not too tight turns of tying thread. Now we go back, keep it up on top, and that'll just about do us there. So that's our tail. We'll sort that out proper in a while. We can go forward a little, and we'll lift everything up. And just trim those off. Like so. I've got a loose thread there. Just trim that off. Wet it. That should do us. Okay, now I can go back and fix the tail. So I'm going to go around like this, and then I want the tying thread flat, so I'll spin it anti-clockwise. Now loose turns, and then we can go back up. There we are. There's the tail. Perfect. So now we need deer hair. Now when I'm spinning this deer hair, what I've done is I've adjusted some Petit-Jean clips. I've modified them, not adjusted them. I've modified them. I've glued in 2 strips of foam, this very fine, like 2mm razor foam. And how I do that is I just cut the strips ready, and then on the inside of the lip of the magic clip I put some UV resin, put the piece of foam in, close it, and then just give it a blast with the UV light on that side to cure it. That works a treat. But what this actually does, this foam, is if you put deer hair in a normal Petit-Jean clip, the hair has a tendency to move around because it's so slippery. But with the foam, it works a treat. Okay, next step is I use this is called a Peltex. It's a knife made for the fur industry that they used to cut pelts with. And what you have here is you have razor blades like this, and you place these in like so, and then you lock it with that. These are incredibly sharp, as you can imagine, and with these knives I cut strips of deer hair like this. So what I can do now is take this strip of deer hair, pull out the longest hairs first, I don't want those in there, and then I place it in the modified Petit-Jean clip. Let me show it first, like so. And then what I can do with this clip is I can adjust the hair to how I want it. That's looking pretty good. And then I'll cut off with long straight scissors the piece I need. So that's what we've got there. Now, to make it even easier, what I do is I use another Petit-Jean clip and I transfer the hair over to this, because I'm going to trim off the other side. But I have to do this while they're resting on a table, like so. And then I'm going to cut off the points of this hair. So we have that. Then I'm going to put it back into the modified clip. There we are. Okay, the next step is to make a dubbing loop. This has to be double. Let me just put that on there. In and then go forward. And let the tying thread hang there. Then I need the heavy dubbing spinner and just hang that to one side while I get my wax and wax both sides of the loop. So now we take our dubbing, our deer hair, place it in the loop, adjust it if it needs be, that'll do us, and give it a spin. There we are. Now what I can do is slacken off the vise and start winding the dubbing brush. Don't worry about the tying thread, and go all the way with this. Like so. Now what we need is a hair packer. Now careful you don't damage the tails, just hold it like this and push the hair back. There we are, that's perfect. Now what we can do is tie off the dubbing loop. Remove that. Then we need to make a whip finish. And remove that. and we can trim our fly down. So first cut underneath, follow it all the way around, careful not to cut the tails. I'll show you how to deal with that now. Hold the tails and then slide your scissors along them into the deer head. That's it. All the way around. Trim this down to the perfect size you want and shape, so it's a nice even body. You can be as precise as you like with this. So that's that. Then what we need again is our tying thread. We need to put this back on, and this is why I call it a deer hair irresistible, because everything is made out of deer hair, even the hackle. So we need another dubbing loop, a little bit shorter this time at the front. Tie this in, move our thread out of the way. Then we need our dubbing spinner again. Place that on, wax. Good. With a shorter, stiffer hair, this I've taken from a comparadun hair, and we need to put this in the clip, in the loop, like so, keeping the loop tightly together while you spin, and then get that going. Excellent, that's looking good. Now we wind our deer hair hackle in, a little bit into the body, and then forward, like so, and we tie off the dubbing loop. And remove that. And then our whip finish. And another one. Remove the tying thread. Straight on that. Give it a brush. And that's it. That's my finished deer hair irresistible. It'll float all day long and has a real buggy effect when it hits the water.